Hello everyone, welcome back to the Decod3rs channel. And tonight we have a special guest, Jackie. How should I pronounce it? Like French accent, man.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. That works. I like that. It sounds kind of cute coming from you. Let's fucking go, dude.
Let's go. Yeah, like 10 seconds in, I'm already cute. That's what's up, man. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come on the channel. Like, means a lot to me because, bro, like, your content is everywhere. You're doing an incredible job. And I told you before the show, but I will tell you in front of everyone, I will not be able to do what you're doing. I love it. It's cool. And I have so many questions for you, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you for having me. I was telling you even before we started the show, I would like these opportunities on other people's platforms, people that are pushing the content narrative, and you're doing a great job with that. And yeah, my content, dude, it's not for everybody. I know you said you like to kind of sit comfy and do your thing. And trust me, I like that too. But I also, I have that risk side to me too. So I get it.
And you have like the founders talk, like when you have a short format version of it, when you have like interview like Web3 founders, which is quite interesting too, man. Like it's really nice.
Yeah, dude. I think like with those ones where it was, because like Twitter's like this platform where it's very scrolling based, right?
Yeah.
It's like TikTok, but for like you digest it and you read it, right? If that makes sense. And so I was like, how do I come up with an interview style that's also informative and then has short retention at the same time and kind of put them two and two together. And so that's how that came about. And I like talking to people, right? So I like getting to know people. So it was the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so you're basically doing it all, like educational content, like degen content, fun, entertaining content. That's cool, man. Yeah, and bro, your movie, the Mad Lads movie, it's cool. Like the production is nice.
You liked it?
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, Mad Movie 1 was like kind of like the intro sequence to announce that I am now a part of the Mad Lads roster. But then the second one, it gave me this like, because we had a lot more time. We had like a 3-week window kind of that we put on ourselves. And so that creative process had a lot more time to brew, right? And so I was like, okay, like what's some of the crazy stuff that we could do? And so that's where the narrative of the pursuit of extreme came in to play. And it came together nicely, dude. I got to shout out my editor and filmer Colton though. He helps me produce them and he's fucking great at it.
Yeah, so you get like a whole production team behind you now, right?
We have help, but Colton he actually he films and edits and produces music videos for a living. So he's like a wizard when it comes to that stuff. So I would say it is like a full production team, having him and all his equipment and then me in front of the camera. That's all you need, right? So
that's cool. Yeah, I can't wait like to have like my own studio like with like people and I just need to press rec and then let's go.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. It's a luxury for sure.
Actually, no, it's cool, but like you deserve it, man. Like you make some numbers, like you everyone on the timeline. So yeah, like with the team you can go further and beyond, right? So it's pretty impressive. Yeah, congrats for your success, by the way.
I appreciate that.
But you have done that like content since ages, right? Like you also have like a second channel, like your first channel when you had like a Web2 content, like kind of like you have like your biggest stunt on it.
yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah. So
I mean, I was creating the Web2 content. Like that's how dude. I was doing that for like almost a decade before, right? And it was like all that crazy stuff. But I've said it a few times too, where it's like I always wanted to create some form of content here in Web3, and I always felt fulfilled with some of the content that I was doing in Web2, and I was like, well, how do I bring that into Web3 and have it make sense? Because like I can't just randomly start posting clips of me hauling my body into cactuses or stapling my body, you know what I mean? All this crazy shit. I can't just randomly start posting that because people wouldn't understand. They'd be like, why is this guy doing this? Like, bro, we're trading JPEGs here. Like, what is this? So then when I had the Mad Lads opportunity and joining the roster there, it was like that perfect synergy where it's like, okay, cool. Now there's a reason for me to get crazy and produce the best content that I possibly can here in Web3 because it can be digested in Web2 and Web3 and it's backed by a Web3 brand. So the best part.
And it's on point with like the Mad Lad brands with like the let's fucking go, right?
Exactly, dude. I think I got the t-shirt on.
Exactly. Fuck it.
Fuck it, baby.
Yeah, that's cool. So like bro, like 10 years, that's that's a long time to create content. And like basically, yeah, like for the people who haven't seen like the videos, like the one that's quite big is like you're jumping from the first floor of a supermarket in the shelf. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's crazy. That one's crazy. I mean, that's like one of my most notorious ones, to be honest.
Did you ever get hurt like really badly?
From that? Or from in general?
From 10 years of doing that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've broken a few bones. Like I broke my collarbone. I've broken my arm a few times. I've cut open my body numerous times. Nothing like super traumatic, like no head trauma, like knock on wood. I'm gonna knock on wood here, but no head trauma, nothing that can, I definitely have permanent scars, but nothing that will hurt me long term. I don't think. Maybe I'll have arthritis in this arm because like this arm has been broken way too many times. But I don't know, dude.
That's commitment.
I've came away pretty clean though for a lot of the stuff that I have done. Like considering some of the things that I did off camera, like those drunk nights where you're just like not even filming and you're just getting wild. Like, so yeah, I'm grateful though.
And like, do you have, are you like in your real life, like you are in your video, or like, do you have not like a persona on camera and off camera? Like, how do you manage that?
Like a persona?
Not a persona, but like, are you the same? Because like, for example, also like you do content with like Web3 founders and where you can sit and not jumping on the table, right? So you can jump from the first floor of like a supermarket on shelves, and you can also do like introduction. So are you both at the same time? Like, how does that work?
Dude, here's the thing. I think there's an on and off switch for me. I think it's like a little bit skewed now too. And I mentioned this a couple times too. So I'm sorry if anybody's in here and I sound like a broken record, but like I actually went sober like 2 years ago. Right. And so I would say before I got sober, there wasn't really an on or off switch. Like I was just naturally like, I could be cool, calm, and collected. I could be this chill guy, but it could be like switched like in an instant. Whereas like nowadays I am much more like chill and laid back. Right. It's not like I remember I used to get Instagram comments and they asked if people would always ask, like, do you enjoy pain? Are you a massive shit? And they asked me all these questions. It's like, I don't wake up and just like, let's go, and start stapling my, like, I'm much more. So I would say there is like a little bit of a glorified version of me on camera, but I think that's the same with everybody a little bit, but I'm still Jakey, like I'm still the same person, but there is kind of like that turn up and then turn down,
I mean, it's like not the right way to do it, but like it's normal, like for content creators to be like different. I think for me, just like the fact that like the glasses and like the changing t-shirt and stuff to go on camera, it's like wearing an uniform, and I'm a bit like not different, but like it's like a state of mind of like, okay, let's go on stream and let's do something cool and like asking a relevant question. And I'm sorry if you sound like a broken record. Maybe I'm just asking.
No, that's not from you. That's not from you. That's just completely from me.
Question than everyone else.
No, I love those questions, dude. No, that's not on your end. That's from me. I just feel like sometimes I mention it too much, and the people are like, okay, we get it, but like that's just me being self-conscious. But I feel you on the like putting on like a different set of clothes. Like even for me, I did that whole mime thing, right? Mime versus pain on like my TikTok and all that. And so you put on mime makeup and you put on the shirt, and like I go into a different character because now I have to be silent. I have to act out in charade. So like I completely understand the idea of putting on like your work clothes or your party clothes,
Yeah, it's an interesting mindset that you have to put yourself in. Like it's like actors or like even even content creators that are have to give a performance to the camera, right? It's fascinating. It's fascinating for sure.
It's super fascinating.
Yeah. And that's why it's adding like one more layer to content creation, because it's just like you create content, but like you switch yourself. It's cool. I love it.
You get it, dude. You get it though. Yeah. There's layers to the shit, dude. But you get it.
Yeah. And and you're going big in like in Web3 content with like Bell Studios, like which is basically a collective of content creators, right? And so what's your mission? What's your goal with that?
Yeah, so I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. But you basically like summed it up there. I mean, originally, so like Bell Studios was actually originally founded kind of by accident. You were probably, you were definitely around for this. This guy holds, would you say 55 DGods?
And 3
To my
BTC
knowledge,
DGods.
is that alpha?
Oh no,
Is that
no,
alpha?
bro! Like I built my whole Twitter account based on that. Like my best tweets are like shilling the portfolio. So yeah, don't worry about that.
Hell yeah, that's what you gotta do. When you hold 54 DGods, you shout that from the rooftops, dude. You make that your personality. I love that, dude. But yeah, what I was saying kind of was like there was this point in time on Solana NFTs. It was around the time like Decod3rs had just minted, and there were certain narratives and certain things that were being portrayed in the Solana community where it's like, it's never the consumer's fault if they lose money. It's always the influencer or the promoter or the founder's fault. It's never the consumer's fault if you lose money. And people were throwing that. And so people started blaming like these influencers and these promoters and these marketers for losing money, right? And this became like a very solid narrative. And at the time, Brody and I, like, we were in that field. We were doing marketing like on our own little thing. Like Brody and I had always worked together on certain endeavors within the space. And so it started to affect our business. And like we felt we had always carried ourselves as transparently and ethically as possible. And so it got to a point where we're like, dude, why don't we just create our own? We didn't know what we were doing, but we're like, why don't we just create our own marketing agency, use the leverage in the network that we have, but do it in a way that is as transparent as possible. Like, let's have a Notion page, right? And that's where Ryder comes on board and we work together. We have a Notion page of all the clients we've worked with, what we were paid, who got paid within the studio for it. So there's never these like back and forth questions of like, oh, did this project ended up like failing or whatever, right? But Bell Studios worked with them. Well, yeah, like, you know, it's on our clientele list. Of course, like the client success is our success. That's how we treat it. And we want them to all do well. But if a project does happen to fail or something, we don't take it off our client list because that wouldn't be ethical, right? And so that's where Bell Studios came about. And I think it slowly has shifted into this like almost there's two different terms for sure, marketing agency and content agency, but I want to say we're like in a mix between the both. And I think like quickly, like we realized back in October, November around FTX time was like these certain marketing gimmicks that worked before do not work anymore. You need way more substance, right? And so I took the idea of like a Web2 brand deal, right? Like I use this example all the time, but like you take the idea of like SeatGeek and David Dobrik. You know David Dobrik? Yeah, huge YouTuber. Yeah. And so he used to do these brand deals for SeatGeek, but the way he would do this brand deal, it wasn't one of those like stop and start commercials, right? He would embed the brand deal into the video. He would embed it into the storyline of the video. And so I was like, let's take that idea and apply it here in Web3, tweak it a little bit, but apply it for, you know, NFT projects, platforms, stuff that, you know, we like, stuff that comes across the Bell Studios table. And we're like, we could see us working with that. And we think that we could provide content for that. And so let's start offering that because that wasn't like a route that people had really took before. And so from that point on, we started like looking around, doing our due diligence of like the best content creators on Solana. And I truly think that we've picked up some of the greatest. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Bell Studios is kind of in that accolade resume building territory and just kind of like prepping for the bull and building the foundation. So I know that was a long answer, but I think that kind of gives you an idea, right?
Yes, man, like it's amazing. Like that's the same strategy here. Like it's gonna take like a couple of months / years to build the channel, but like when we're gonna hit like the bull market in 2024, 2025, like it's gonna be
exactly, dude. What you're doing right now, dude, building the foundations for like your content empire. It's like, dude, it's all cool what's happening right now. Like maybe there aren't a ton of views, maybe there aren't a ton of engagement, but dude, it's going to be a different story when you have those foundations built and now the bull market, or at least just the market is turned on an uptrend. Like it's going to be so great for you. Like it's going to be so fulfilling for you, dude.
And like, you were talking about like influencers and content creators. Do you make a difference between content creators and influencers?
Dude, I just don't like the word influencer. I feel like it holds a lot of cringe weight at this point, to be honest. But at the end of the day, like people skew words. Like I remember people would use like the term advisor and then the term promoter, and they would think it's the same thing, or like you know what I mean? So it's like, I guess you could, like an influencer could also be a content creator. A content creator could be an influencer, but like I like to stay away from the word influencer because it just carries this like negative weight at this point in this space. So I usually like to use the term creator. And if someone isn't creating video content, but they're writing threads or they're writing tweets or they're creating music, they're a creator, right? So I like to use that term, to be honest. I do think there's a little bit of a difference, but in Web3, it's skewed.
Yeah. And what makes a good content creator?
That's a good question, dude. I think this might sound corny, but I think a good content creator is someone that is creating content for the pure love of creating that content. So like whether it's whatever niche, I mean, there's like thousands of content niches on the internet. You want to go watch ASMR, you can go watch ASMR. You want to go watch trains, you can go do that. And so I think a good content creator is creating content on something that they love, and sticking to their morality. That sounds corny, but I think that's like the best thing, right? Yeah, dude. And here in Web3, I've said it too, the bar is so low. So you could, you know what I mean? Like you could literally just pick up your like iPhone, and as long as you have Wi-Fi, you can just pick up, film you saying something to the camera, you post it, people can resonate with it. There's personality behind this Twitter account now. That's a good piece of content in Web3. So that's my philosophy.
And that's why like there is also a huge opportunity for everyone to create content for sure. Like even on TikTok, like if you take this app, like you are hooked on TikTok the moment you are creating content yourself, right? And like the opportunities, like when you become a content creator, when like the default status is consuming content, when you start to making some, like you're already in the top 1% of like people of like doing one more step forward, and that's like it's fantastic. Like it's pretty cool, and it's exciting. Like again, like you create something, and then you have like people watching it, putting comments. Bro, like the first time when that we had a donation, I was like crazy. Like, okay, why did you give me like $5, man? Like, what the fuck? Thank you so much. But and then like it triggers so many levels. It's fascinating. Dude, it's so cool.
It brings out the craziest. It could be toxic sometimes when you get so infatuated by numbers. But what you just said, that feeling of creating something, and then that feeling of seeing someone watch your creation, that's something that I've just like, it releases every part of dopamine in me. Is like, and that's ultimately how I got hooked on content, was like the fact that 30 people just watched like me skateboard, 2,500 people just watched me break my arm skateboarding. Like that was crazy to me, dude. And so I think that's why I fell in love with it, was that people were consuming it, and I wanted to create content that could make someone laugh, or could have someone sitting in their chair for 7 minutes, like on the edge of their seat. So I feel you on that.
And like in terms of like having an audience, like do you create content because you want to put that piece out, even if it's not really like a trendy, and you know this video will do no numbers, but you really want to create it because that's the creation aspect of it that matters? Or like in a way, if no one is here to watch you, what you push, you're not like you're missing like part of the job. Like, do you think a good content creator, like a content creator, needs to have an audience to end up being a content creator?
I think like you have to be able to adapt. What's that? What is that saying? Repeating the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity, or something like that. So like, you have to take that philosophy a little bit. But I also think like, say you're someone that's never created a piece of video content, or maybe you've never done it in Web3. You have to create it on something that you want to create, whether it be a vlog, whether it be like an interview style, whether it's you playing Minecraft, right? Or you buying an NFT, like whatever it may be, it has to be something that you like doing to get that initial like motivation, right? To get that initial like leap. And then when you kind of like gotten your mojo and you're like a little bit more comfortable, then you can start looking at like what's trending, what's the meta right now, how can I create what I want to create, but also tap into that a little bit, so that it kind of hits like both sides of the spectrum, where you're fulfilled with a piece of content. You didn't go completely out of your way to create something you didn't want to create, but you've at least tapped in over there, so that people will maybe jump to watch it. Maybe like the title is now a little bit clickbait because you've included like a little part of that in there. And so I think it's all about adapting, but I think something that's crucial is you have to carry your roots, and you have to make sure that you never fall off the tracks of, now I'm just creating content for the people, and it's not even content that I like anymore. And there's a fine balance. And I think like, I don't have that figured out. A lot of content creators don't have that figured out. But if you can at least tread that line, that's the definition of a successful content creator right there. You asked that question before, and that is it right there.
And for yourself, like, do you feel that what you want to create is also matching the trends, and like you get that rolling, or like you still in like the phase of like figuring out that part of it?
Yeah, I think like right now for me too, I'm dabbling in everything, right? Like at least like Web3. So like I'm trying to stream and like, you know, gambling on stream and buying NFTs on stream, and then I'm recording like me doing these mint experiences. So then like that kind of taps into like Bodoggos, for example. I recorded me doing the Bodoggos mint. So it taps into what's going on there. The Heist, a project on Solana that has a cool game that's been very trendy and they've been doing really well. So I've created a series on that. So I like to keep my options open and start multiple of these like little avenues of content. And then Mad Movie, the only thing that it has to do with Web3 is Mad Lads, right? The rest of the content in there is essentially like it could be digestible for a Web2 person and a Web3 person. So I want to have my spectrum as broad as possible for all the content I'm pushing out, so I can tap into those. This is trending right now. Maybe it's not like my best piece of content, but at least it kind of hits that. But then I get to go and create the heist video, which I love creating, right? I think that's kind of where I'm at.
And did you have like any piece of content you can say, okay, this one is a banger that I'm gonna make so much views with this one, and it's a big flop, or the reverse, like this video is shit, but like it was a fucking banger for everyone else?
Dude, that hasn't happened. Dude, that's a great question. I love that. That hasn't happened a ton here in Web3. My expectations, I've tried to keep like super low in terms of Web3, but in Web2, bro, that used to happen all the time. I would put like weeks into a video. I'd be like, bro, this is my best piece of content. We'd upload it to YouTube and it would flop. And I'd be like, bro, I just don't understand it. And then I post a video where I'm like, I'm just throwing up like, I'm throwing together like throwaway footage or footage. It's like, it's kind of funny, but it's not that great. And we throw it into a vlog and now it's like a mediocre piece of content. And then we put it up and people are like, dude, this was genius. Like, I fucking love this. And it's like, maybe I don't have an understanding what the people want, right? So I don't know. And that goes back to what I was saying before, though. I enjoyed making that banger piece of content. Maybe it flopped, but, you know, we put out a mediocre one and it did well. So balance has been met. But, dude, I can relate to that because that would happen all the time in Web2, bro. All the time.
Kind of happen like with the short version of the stream. Like, it's say, oh, yeah, this one is so funny, blah, blah. Big flop and stuff. And then, like, another one that I say, oh, okay, this one is cool. Just like 2,000 views for the channel and stuff like
right. That's why you have exactly, dude. You have to keep your expectations like neutral, because the minute you're like, dude, this one's gonna pop because it's a banger, then your expectations are lowered, and then like you throw one up, I don't expect this to do well, but then you're like, what the fuck? It confuses you. It's a confusing concept.
And do you have like the feeling of, okay, when one video is down and up to the next, like, do you feel like kind of pressure to create the good one after like a good video, or like a better version of it? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, dude, fuck, you're like reading my mind, dude. I mean, that's literally what I'm feeling right now. But I like the pressure because like it kind of molds me into like put me in this zone where it's like, okay, the pressure is on and people are expecting me, like Mad Movie 3 has to be better than Mad Movie 2, or at least as entertaining as Mad Movie 2. So yes, dude. I mean, the minute I put out, like, especially with the Mad movies, because like a lot of effort goes into them, and like those are one of those ones where it's impossible to not set my expectations. I'm like, dude, this has to go because I fucking poured my soul into it. So the minute I put out Mad Movie 2, I'm like, okay, great. The response has been awesome. Support has been good. The first day's over. I wake up the next day and I'm like, all right, fuck. Now now it's time to get back in the lab and start like, I need to fucking come up with a new idea, a new narrative that can be better, or at least the same, like just as good as the last, right? So yes, dude, I feel that every time, dude, I swear. And I like it though. I do like it.
No, it's cool. I mean, like, you have to enjoy like the path of creation, because like if you don't, like you will stop next week.
Exactly. Trust the process. Exactly. You get it.
And like okay, what does it take to produce a Mad Movie?
Takes blood, it takes sweat, it takes no. Dude, it takes it takes courage, right? Like it takes a lot of like editing. Like a lot of the hours are usually spent editing. Sometimes like traveling, like I travel to Vancouver Island. I'm from Toronto, right? Money, of course. You got it. Hey, listen, anybody listening right now, if you make some money and you have a business or you're creating content, reinvest that shit into the content. I promise it's going to continue to double up your content, and then you can monetize in better ways in the long term. But yeah, dude, fucking a lot of effort and yeah, blood, sweat, and tears, dude. But it's fun, dude. I love the process.
I see, exactly. Yeah, again, like you can do it like long term if you don't, which is fun. But like, okay, so even after one video is pushed and you start to read comments about the video, like how do you manage yourself like mentally, like the feedback about the video, like the point of view of like Kevin 73 47 and say, oh yeah, bro, like, your video is shit. I'm not subscribing to your channel. I don't want to see your content ever again. Like, is that impacting you, or like you don't really care? Like, yeah, what's your mindset? Like, how do you manage that?
That's a good question. I would say like, so I want to also say, I'm not saying that there aren't any negative critiques on the Mad movies, but like relatively speaking, since content is relatively new and the surface hasn't really been scratched in Web3, like Web3 content, I don't really get a lot of like negative feedback on the content because it is new. But if I relate it back to Web2, of course, I got a ton of people saying you're an idiot. Like, why do you do this to yourself? Oh, clout chaser, all these things. And like for me, I think there's definitely been times where someone has said something where it maybe hits home a little harder. Like I remember this one comment, and it stuck out with me literally to this day. And I read it probably 4 years ago. And it said something like, Toronto suburbs kid still trying to make it after 6 years of doing dumb shit or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And with that comment, like it's a negative piece, and you're not supposed to let these get to you, but that comment resonated because like those are actual thoughts that I've had. I'm like, damn, I really have been at this for 6 years and like I haven't made it, right? And so then you read that comment and you're like, so I was thinking it, and this motherfucker just reaffirmed it because he just put it pen to paper in a comment section, right? And so those ones have definitely affected me before. But I think like the ones where it's like, you're an asshole, this content sucks, like those you just kind of have to like take it off. But then it can also work as fuel too, because I that comment to this day, like I just mentioned, at first it affected me negatively and I got a little bit down on myself. But now I think back to that comment, I'm like, fuck, I just want to prove wrong. Like I want to prove them wrong, right? I want to show that I have made a living for myself in some manner, or I have garnered an audience for myself in some manner. So to answer your question, I know I made it a little bit longer, but I think comments have gotten to me. Yeah, we got time. I think comments have gotten to me a few times and stuff like that, but it goes the same way with like positive comments. If you get a ton of positive comments, you also have to make sure that your ego is not inflated to the point where you think now you can put out a mediocre piece of content.
Yeah.
You have to take that as like, okay, people love this. Let's make sure that they love the next one even more. And that's how I view those.
And okay, that's even interesting because that was like the next question. Like, do you think like videos like the next one will if the last one was not good and the next one is good, like then the last one that the previous video doesn't really exist anymore and you are as good as your last video?
I think I went through, I don't think that's the case yet, but I unfortunately think that's true in almost this is gonna be opinion based, but I think like that is true in a lot of aspects of creation, right? You think of music, like unless there's someone like Kanye, like if they're like a new and upcoming star, right? Like let's take Roddy Ricch, for example. I'm not sure if you're aware of him, but he had a banger first album where people are like, dude, this is like artist of the year, like rookie of the year, double XL. And then he came out with his sophomore album and people are now counting him out. It's like the first one didn't exist, right? And I think that is the same case in content. But I think there's like content provides like, especially like video content, like for a YouTuber, they come out with a bad YouTube video and people be like, what the fuck, man? Like you've lost it. You're off it now. You're falling off. But you have that chance to rebound, and you have that chance to rebound. Like there's a big window, right? Say you put out 3 videos now where there's like, bro, you're missing. Okay. But that 4th one just hits the nail on the head. You're back in action. Right. But I think in Web3, it's a little bit different just because it is brand new, that like, if you miss, it's just like, dude, I don't really like this one. Oh, okay, cool. I'll just fucking create a new one. It could be as simple as me minting something. They're like, oh, this was fun again. So that's probably my take on that. And
what do you think we are missing in Web3 to reach the level of content that we have in Web2? Is that just time or
Yeah, I think that's Yeah, I think that's time and like stepping stones, right? I think because we're such a small spot on the internet, like really think about it, like it's just such a small little piece of the internet that if you're bullish and you're convicted in NFTs playing a big part in society and the blockchain technology playing a big part in our everyday uses, then it's just time. If that isn't the case and you're like, this is just a fad, but I'm just having fun with it, which I don't think is the case. I'm just saying maybe there are people out there. This is just a phase in my life that I'm just having fun with until it phases out. Then I don't know what pushes Web3 content, but I truly think like time and like stepping stones. People like, I like to use this example, Easy Eats, right? Easy Eats Bodega. He was like kind of the first one I seen attaching his like face to his Twitter account and creating these videos and stuff. And so stepping stones like easy. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I know he's still gonna crush it, but he is like a stepping stone to getting to like higher production value videos, right? There's no Mr. Beast of Web3 yet. So I think it's time. I think it's notoriety. And I think it's overall the amount of creators. If we can start fucking recruiting a ton of like even just like Web2 people coming over here, doing streams, doing videos, like that would help us in the right direction. But I think that question is hard to answer because it's like, what could be that catalyst?
Yeah,
we all don't know yet.
And do you think like the entertaining content is driving people to crypto, or it's entertaining like crypto guys like on TikTok, Instagram, whatever? Or is that like really like the bridging the gap via entertaining content?
I think this actually kind of coincides because that what you just asked there kind of also connects to the previous question a little bit too, is like, I think the content has to live without the word NFT and crypto right now. And it sucks that has to be the case, but the negative stigma that the word NFT and crypto hold, it doesn't matter. You could be doing whatever. The minute you mention those words, you're like, fuck off. Like, we don't care about that. That was so that was 2021, right? So if you can create a piece of content where you involve like maybe a Web3 brand or whatever it may be, maybe it's a DeFi project, whatever, but you put it into a piece of content where it's digestible for someone in Web 2. They can understand it, right? Like Mad Movie, like for example, like I'm just using that as an example where it's like, I didn't mention the word crypto or NFT, but like, I feel like it could be digested in Web 2 and Web 3, but it's attached to the Mad Lads brand. So let's get them psyched on the Mad Lads brand, not the NFT project. We don't have to shove that down their throat yet. Let's get them psyched on the brand. And then we can shield on the product when they're like buying the fucking t-shirt. So they're like, dude, I like the Mad Lads brand. I like the content that's coming from Mad Lads. So I think it's creating a piece of content that fits in that direct middle of it's understandable in Web 3 because there's Web 3 gimmicks in it. It's digestible in Web 2 because there's stuff in that video that like has nothing to do with NFTs and crypto.
Okay.
And again, another long answer, but I think that's like,
that's why we have a long form of podcast, man. Like, so you can take time to express yourself.
Hell yeah, dude. I like to talk. So
exactly, yeah. But like, so that's the strategy of Mad Lads, right? Like using your content and like developing your content to develop the brand and like expand it to that's bullish. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah, and comment from Project 5am. So hi. Starbucks and Nike are bypassing those terms. I don't know exactly what that means, but
I mean, because I think like with what he said, like Starbucks, like their rewards program is Polygon, right?
True.
And I mean, that's a great example. Project 5M is like people are using the rewards program without even knowing it's on the blockchain. Okay. So like that is it's a little bit of a different example than content in itself, but it's a good example where it's like they don't even know they're using the blockchain. But what happens when we now take that Starbucks rewards and we put it in multiple different places for reward programs or whatever subscription base? At some point, people are going to be like, oh, hey, by the way, this is on the blockchain. Oh, what, are they going to stop using it? Like they were already using it for a year before. Why would they go back? Because that stigma of crypto, right? I don't know. I think it's just like natural, a natural bridging, I guess.
But how do you write a piece of content and jokes that related and understandable by the Mad Labs community, but that's gonna speak to the 50 years old kids on TikTok or like Instagram that's gonna swap your content? Like that's tricky as fuck, man. If you can do that, that's massive.
Yeah, that is tricky, dude. I think like some projects can like, I think one great example is like Decod3rs, which like shout out to Decod3rs, huge fan, but I never understood why they didn't have a TikTok from the moment they minted, because they could create a piece of content like with their animation. It could be whatever, but it's a 5-year-old can watch it and love it, and a 50-year-old can be like, oh, that was cute, that was fun, like that was cool, like I should show my grandkids that, right? So I think that's it. But in terms of what you said, like the jokes and the culture and stuff, that is something that's going to be really hard to get across. And so, yeah, I think we're all going to have, like me, you, content creators of Web3 are going to have to figure that out together.
Yeah. I mean, like, Kleno could have like a YouTube channel when you have like kids, like animation and animes. That would be a banger YouTube channel, man. Because like the market is big, man. Like kids who are opening like toys live and like review the toys, or even like the YouTube channel with like again like kid shows. It's the most profitable channels on YouTube.
100%, dude. You've got like, dude, majority of YouTubers user base is like, there is like that. It's like 15-year-olds, and then there's also like the 8-year-olds that watch a lot of the like the little kid stuff, right? And there's like a lot of creators that like focus their complete direction on their content to fit that audience. And it's like, we've seen it with Pudgy. They're going that route, and it's very fucking cool. And Kleno, I'm not saying copy the blueprint, but exactly what you just said. They should have like they need a YouTube, they need a TikTok, they need to just be pushing as much content as possible on those, because it's going to be so beneficial for them, because it's there.
Bro, like a Famous Fox Instagram account, they start doing that. It's phenomenal. It's so fucking cool. It's funny. It's like, it's amazing.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I just started following them like 2 weeks ago, and they're another great example that understand it, right?
Yes.
And
it's cool. And I think because of the beer market, like founders have more time to go to streams, podcasts, whatever, so they can create more content than just trying to rush after and run after the next meta that Decod gonna set up.
Yeah, fair enough, dude. I mean, there's a ton more accessibility in the space right now, dude. Like people, when the bull market's here, you're not gonna have accessibility to a lot of these top. Like, look at Frank, right? Frank's a homie, but like, I get it. He's like super busy and stuff. So like sometimes he can't reply, but he's well accessible right now. Whereas like in a bull market, when Decods are fucking going crazy and Frank's on TED Talks and he's doing it, like he's not going to be accessible anymore like he was before, right? Exactly. So you got to take advantage of now.
Yeah, 100%. So we have like someone on stage on Twitter. What's up, Finn? How are you doing?
Yeah, good, man.
What's up? Do you have a question for Jaggy?
No, currently no.
Okay, so
I'm just wanting to know.
What?
No, nothing.
Okay, cool.
I love that, dude. That's great. Just coming up to hang out.
Good chats.
I actually forgot we were on a Twitter space, so I forgot that existed there for a second, because it felt for a little bit you're good at what you do. It felt like me and you were just chopping it up. I forgot we were on that.
Man, that's why I like it so much, man, because like, you know, it's like having a private call together, but public. That's why that's the goal of the channel, man. Exactly,
dude. I love it.
And okay, so what do you think, like, the Degen content, I will call that way, no offense, hopefully.
Yeah.
Like,
fair enough.
brings to the table, like what the people that watch that kind of content are like taking away with them. Like, is that pure entertainment, and then they're gonna check the project that you're doing that for? Like, what's the mindset behind that? What's the strategy?
By Degen content, you mean like the crazy stuff, right?
Exactly.
That I do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that. I'm gonna start calling it Degen content. Okay. That's good. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I think the main value prop is definitely entertainment. I think I have to keep going back and forth between Web 2 and Web 3, because I think it fits different parts. I think in Web 3, it's mainly like entertainment and maybe having a familiar face. That they can get entertainment from. At the end of the day, like, content is utility, and I firmly believe that. So I would like to think that, like, maybe the Mad Movie, whatever, maybe it's a form of utility for the lads community. Maybe it's something that they can get excited about, like like a Christmas morning thing, like Mad Movie 3 is coming up, you know? So I think it will be, or maybe it is fitting that part in Web 3. And then I think in Web 2 is exactly kind of like what I was saying before, where it's like, let's get them psyched on the brand. Like if they like the video and I'm consistently being like, fuck it, I'm using these catchphrases, I'm saying I'm a mad lad. Like at some point they're like, okay, this video is cool. What is he talking about in it? Like, I want to check it out. And then maybe they go to the Mad Lads Instagram and they learn a little bit more. Maybe now they're like, I like that shirt, the fuck it t-shirt. Like maybe I pick one of those up, right? And so you slowly lead them in this direction where it's like this cool brand, kind of like a Red Bull style brand. And then you can start like, listen, you like the brand, you're already a fan of it. Let me tell you how you can be just as part of the brand. You could be more a part of the brand than like your normal consumer, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. And they could pick up the NFT. They could download the backpack wallet, right? So I think they fit different scales in Web 2 and Web 3, but I would like to say, yeah, the main value prop is probably entertainment in Web 3.
Yeah, which makes sense because like even like I know like Ash from Divine Dogs, like so we have like a DeFi show together on the channel, and like he jumped on crypto, or is it or whatever. So one guy that I know jumped in crypto because he saw an ad on YouTube, or even Gary Vee talking about it on Instagram or some shit, and then like he did the whole 9 years journey stuff of like jumping, creating this project, whatever. It's crazy. Maybe there is like a huge thesis on that for sure. Yeah, that's amazing,
dude. Like, yeah, exactly. That's a great example. It's like I got into. I was never into crypto before NFTs, right? And like I'm cool like admitting that. Obviously you have to be knowledgeable in crypto to understand NFTs to a certain degree, so you learn them kind of like simultaneously. But I got into NFTs that got me into crypto through a podcast from FaZe Banks and Keemstar, right? So, and that was just a Web 2 piece of content. It was just a podcast that he happened to mention NFTs. He explained it in a cool way. I was like, I want to check that out.
That's cool.
Right? And so maybe it would be no different with Mad Movie. Who knows? Like that's the goal, at least.
No, that's cool. And do you have an idea of who is your audience? Like, who's like the perfect persona of someone who watch your content?
Yeah, I think like for me, that's the thing too. Like here in Web 3, I think like in Web 2, I was put in this box of like, okay, my only audience now are people that want to see me hurt myself. And the minute I'm not hurting myself, it's like, oh, what? Like, dude, go hurt yourself. Go hit yourself in the shin with a scooter, right?
Sick.
So in Web 3, I want to avoid that box. And so that was the goal. And I keep bringing up Mad Movie too, but like it like fits the part for all of the examples I'm using. But it's like for Mad Movie 2, I was like, let's take away the self-harm aspect. Let's still bring that shock value. Let's still bring the craziness, but have fun doing it and make sure the viewer feels like they're there having fun with me, rather than getting the viewer just psyched on the idea of me hurting myself. So with that being said, I'm trying to create content that my mom can watch and not be like this, you know? Or like, you know, I wouldn't say none of my content is ever going to resonate or like should be consumed by like 6-year-old or a 10-year-old or like it's got to be in that like mid-teens to adult range, which most of crypto is. So I kind of want it to hit all spectrums. I want everybody to enjoy it. I don't want them to, oh, this kid's being an idiot. Like I want to broaden that scale and not be boxed in like I wasn't with.
But like the Web3 version of like hurting yourself is like you do a series of like videos and you have to mint every rug.
I should do that as a mime. That'd be fucking lit.
And that's the goal is to like mint 100 rugs.
Dude, that's genius. Like just fucking ape every degen mint, max mint it, like
max allocation, like whitelist, you grind, you know from day one that's a fucking rug. You grind as fuck to get the whitelist. You buy the whitelist on secondary and then you mint.
That's brutal, dude. And then if they don't rug, I sell for a loss instantly after the fucking mint.
Exactly. Yeah, as soon as you are under like mint price or you have a loss, then you sell.
Yeah, dude. That's genius right there. That's like Max Payne Web3 version. Without like feeling something physically to my body, that's Max Payne right there.
And you can have views because people will counter trade you everything. Every project that you have on the channel, like
yeah, they'll raid me. Like they'll be like, hey, we are a rug. And that's their marketing campaign, is getting me to 8 because they are a rug. We figured it out, bro.
That's cool.
That's
It
fucking
could be
good.
some cool Degen content.
Yeah, right? I like that, dude. Mad Movie 3, there you go.
Oh, yes. And like, what do you think about like the Twitter space? This is like YouTube video or even like video content. Like, do you think there is a way, like kind of like what we're doing right now, like there's a world when you can coexist both content, or like in Twitter tomorrow, if we have like video content, that's gonna be fucking massive. I'm waiting for this Twitter video update, man. But
dude,
yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, go ahead.
No, go, sorry. But like with the video, like the fact that people can see our reaction and like the face, etc., there is another level of like connection that you already have with Twitter Space, because like, okay, you talk to a founder and then you believe in the project because you hear his voice for 5 minutes and he's your new bro, right? But with videos, it's like it's multiplied the whole connection and parasocial relationship with the audience that you have.
What you just said, that's exactly how I feel about it. It's just a different energy. It's a different feeling when you can see when we're having this conversation, right? Yeah. We could have a great conversation on a Spaces. We could have a great conversation in like a Discord, like voice channel, right? But at the end of the day, like the fact that I can see your reaction to something that I say and I can see the emotion on your face, it creates a way different dynamic. It creates a way different, like almost like a relationship between the conversationalist. Like, so I always thought, like, I like what you do here, where there's a YouTube stream. I can see you, so it's simultaneously streaming to YouTube, and then it fits for Web3 because it's Web3's Twitter centric. So you get that Spaces audience too, right? But that's something I always felt was lacked in Spaces, was like, it's cool, but so you're telling me the only way I can show how I felt to what someone said is through an emoji? Like, it doesn't fit for me. Like, there is a place for that. Like, if Spaces had the option of just audio, but then you had the option of video, bro, I'm choosing video every time. Like, I like these conversations. So that's always the disconnect I've had with Spaces, and why I don't really hang out in Spaces a lot, because I do feel that disconnect. So you're right, dude. The minute Twitter can harp down on video content, have video Spaces, have a designated place for, like, I know they put highlights, but we need a designated algorithm where our uploads are simultaneously like in order of the upload, and they go there automatically. Like, we need shit like that. The minute that happens, there you go. That's like game changing for Web3 content.
100%. Because like I know there is some iteration about like the YouTube stream live, like you can recast it with like restream and then send it to Twitter. But like the discoverability is kind of shit because it's not a Twitter space. Like, you know, you don't have like the icon join the Twitter stream stuff, so you don't get views. So like the distribution is not perfect yet. But I'm pretty sure it's on like Elon Musk's roadmap for Twitters to become like kind of compete with YouTube. If we have that, bro, that like it's cool.
Yeah, it'll be game changing, and I think like Elon too. He's very regardless of like opinions that people may have on Elon and how he's like gone about whatever. He's very in tune with the culture. I feel like more than any other billionaire that would potentially purchase Twitter. So that's bullish on Twitter, in my opinion. Like, 100%. I'd rather have Elon than the previous one.
100%. Even if Jack like went to Bitcoin, right? So he gets some of the culture.
That's true.
Yeah. But also like the video, it required a little bit more effort in a way, like to produce good like video format and stuff. So it could be tricky for everyone to jump on stage like they do on Twitter Space. Because you can be on fucking washroom and like listen to Twitter Space. If you have the camera, then you don't want to be in your washroom. You want to be in like kitchen, like.
It's very true.
Nice. So it could be tricky too, but it's a new way to distribute content for sure. And
I think if there's like a choice where like you can turn on your video camera, I think that's great. Or if you don't want to and you are in the bathroom or whatever, then you have the choice to not turn it on. I just think it would cause a little bit more friction, I think, but like long term, I think it'd be better.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, again, it's one more layer of like content and connection with the audience. So it's amazing.
Exactly.
Bro, we already have like 15 minutes, man. It's insane. It went so fast.
Dude, we just been fucking crushing it.
Yeah, exactly, man. Okay, I will give you names of like big influencers, and I want you to tell me who can be the blah 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 for Web3. Like, for example, Logan Paul. If you take Logan Paul, who can be Logan Paul of Web3 as a content creator?
So who? Okay, so you say Logan Paul, and I'd be like, I think the
The
Logan Paul
next
of
Logan
Web3
Paul
is
of
this
Web3.
person.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's do it. Is Logan Paul the first one?
Yes, sir.
The Logan Paul of Web3.
In the aspect of like entertainer.
As of currently, right now, I think it'd have to be what's it? The K Money, the comedian.
That's cool.
I think he's got like the best audience and the best grasp on comedy skit content. So I'm gonna go with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And also, yeah, K Money is like his comedy skills match Web2 audience too, for sure.
Exactly.
Because good answer. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Damn. Decod3rs.
Let's go.
No, I mean, dude, fuck, Joe Rogan's a tough one.
I mean, I already have the hairstyle, so it match. And if I can sign off like a 100 million deal with Spotify, I will take that, man. Let's go.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, let's go with that. Decod3rs. I like it.
Let's go. Ninja. I got 5.
Ooh, Ninja.
Who is the big one that you know in game?
Okay, he might not be as well known, but he's within Bell Studios. And he literally comes from Web 2, but he's dabbling in Web 3 and he's creating an audience here in Web 3. His name is Yas Please, and he's got a big Twitch stream following. I think he's got like 50K on Twitch already, and he's naturally onboarding people from Web 3 to Web 2. So I'm going to go with Yas Please. Maybe not a popular opinion, but people will know him soon.
That's what's up, man. And because of Bell Studio, we're going to ramp it up his audience and stuff. Yeah, that's what's up.
There you go.
Marquis Brownlee, like the tech YouTuber.
The tech guy.
Yeah.
That's a good one, dude. I want to see. I don't know too much about him. I feel like that he might have fell into some hot water. So take that aspect away. Just like base it off of his content. I want to see Easy. I think Easy does a good job at like informative content, helping people understand what crypto even is, what why an NFT, like, you know. So I want to say Easy.
Okay. And last one, Steve O.
Steve who?
Steve Ho, you know, Jackass guy.
Oh, Steve-O.
Yes. It's hot. I know it's hot.
Yeah. Probably me, I guess, right?
Let's
like,
go.
fuck, is that egotistical to say? Like, probably me, I guess. I love that. That's a fun game.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, man, like that's cool. Yeah, thank you so much. That was amazing. Okay, and like another question that I had for you, like if you want to start content creation right now in Web3, what would you do?
Yeah, like I even said before,
you just
like just start. I mean, like I said, the bar is so low. So as long as you have, I mean, if you're here in Web3, you have access to Wi-Fi. I assume you have some form of video camera if you have a phone from this decade. And if you have those two things, you can create content. So just start creating. Like I said as well, create content that you like creating. The last thing you want to do is create content for someone else. Because then that drive, that motivation, that quote unquote passion that you may have is automatically diminished because it's not even a piece of content that you enjoy making because you're doing it for someone else. So create content that you want to create content that you love. And like what you said, dude, just start. Like, I know it's corny and cliche as that is, but like there's no better time to start than now because the bar is so low. There's going to be a time where it isn't. And there are these Mr. Beasts of Web3. And now you're below the curve. Right now you're ahead of the curve. So that's my advice.
No, 100%. And like on this channel, like I was like watching like the introduction video like of Decod3rs and even like the private video that I sent to my friend and stuff. Like my first camera, like face cam camera video. My God, man, like the energy was so fucking low. It was like fucking
levels,
crazy,
dude.
Bro,
levels.
Like, what the fuck? And even like some on stream, like a couple of stream was like I don't know, like the sound was like echoing and shit like that. So why? How?
So, dude,
like
That's the best part about starting right now is what you just said. Because you're gonna need time to improve and be like, you're gonna have a time where you film a banger piece of content, you go back and it didn't record your mic. Or there was an echo, right? Like there's gonna be those times and those like little heartbreaks where you're like, are you kidding me? So start now so you can get those out of the way and you're ready for when this stuff does start scratching the surface. Because I know that feeling.
Like one guy who I think no, that's not right. It's another content creator. Went to Gary V and start the interviewing and he didn't capture the sound and he was like, I was waiting for that to meet him for my whole content creator's careers and I go to him, I say hi and the mic is not open.
Right, dude. What is his name, dude? I think his name's OG. I apologize if he ever sees this, but I remember replying to that tweet and I said, dude, because he was like, obviously he's heartbroken, he finally got it. And I replied, I'm like, dude, trust me, you're gonna have another opportunity and use this as a learning lesson because the amount of times that I've done this in Web 2 in some of my videos where I'm recording a prank and my mic cut out because I didn't have it properly attached, like these things are gonna happen, and I know it sucks that it happened to be Gary V out of all people that this happens to on. But I remember seeing that tweet, dude. That's a great example.
It happened to me I had harmony for a show, for a stream, and the echo on Twitter Space was insane. And we had the biggest crowd ever because it was before for the mad list and stuff, for the whitelist, 1,500 people in the Twitter Space and stuff. And for the first 30 minutes, harmony was echoing madness.
Man, that's brutal. That's brutal. Now you can look back and laugh, though, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's brutal.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. It is what it is. No, I don't have echoes anymore. It's cool. Hopefully.
Hopefully, right? We don't know. Hopefully. No, that's great.
And I think a couple of big content creators try to push new content creators, small one, to make a nice video and to push them, but then they don't go into the full cycle of making mistake, growing an audience, interacting with an audience when you're on stream, etc. So they don't have that baggage and they get pushed to 50K viewers on Twitch and shit like that, and they don't know how to stream at all, and then they crash and then they stop. The learning curve, you have to have this learning curve. It's crazy.
Dude, I love that you said that. It's a great example. We've seen it in even I bring up music a lot too, but it's you've seen rappers that just got put on by their homie or a music label, but they were not ready for the fame because they didn't put enough effort into their craft beforehand. They didn't get those stepping stones of this is the reason I'm here. It was this, right? And I know exactly what you're talking about. There's many cases of that where they don't understand how to really work it yet because they didn't put enough of the foundations or the effort into it. And that's crucial, man. The process, dude. That's the moral of this episode of Decoders is trust the process because
exactly.
The process is the best part.
And if you don't enjoy it, find something else.
Yeah, you're doing it fucking wrong if you don't enjoy it.
100%. Okay, man. I have two outro question before we're closing the stream.
For sure.
What's the question that you wish people ask you but they never do?
How are you, Jakey? No.
I already got this answer, man. It's a valid answer.
Oh fuck, dude. I don't know. What is a question that I wish people would ask me? I might have to come back to you on that.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like I've had an answer for almost all of your questions.
Yes.
And they've been really good questions, by the way.
Thanks,
they've been
man.
questions where I have to think. But this one, I don't know what a question.
How are you, Waxman?
What?
How are you? It's a valid answer.
Yeah, how are you? It works. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, and so how are you? Do you feel okay? Everything is okay?
I'm good, man. I'm fucking good, dude.
Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you for asking, because no one asks me that, bro.
And who should be the next guest? And can you make the introduction?
Ooh, who should be the next guest? Have you had Armani on here?
Yes, I had echoes with him, but I can have episode 2 with him for sure. the tech will be pristine. Like the sound will be the best one ever.
Okay. Well, I'd like to see him on here again.
Okay.
Let me think, dude, because I want to make this a good one. Hold on. Give me like 2 seconds. Let me
Yes.
think of who you should have on.
Oh, Evan Ryder from Bell Studio. That would be cool to have him.
I think Ryder would be cool. Brody.
Yes.
Brody's slowly built, like he's building his audience and everything, and he's got an interesting background. Have you had Patty on here?
Nope.
Patty Ice?
Oh, yeah. No. Yes, I would love to have him. Yes.
Patty Ice has one of the
Yes.
craziest life stories ever. So
Yes.
Patty Ice, and I will make that
Okay.
connection. I'm sure you're well in tune with him. You guys are
Yes.
gods, but he would be fucking great to
Yes.
have on here.
That could be, yeah, that would be a nice show for sure. Yeah, I love this guy. I met him like an NFC NYC and like, was cool.
Just a
man.
big teddy bear. That's
Yeah.
what he is. He's a big fucking teddy bear. I love that guy, dude.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a nice recommendation, man. Thank you so much. Do you have anything to say? Any announcement? Any alpha about like the content you're gonna push, or even anything you know about Mad Lads?
Any alpha, huh?
Last
I don't
word.
have any. I don't have anything in that manner. I know that Solana Summerfest in Nashville is coming up, so if you guys are going to that, find me. Let's hang out. Get your tickets on Rove. I gotta plug them a little bit there because I want to see all the homies there. And that's it for announcements. But I want to say thank you because I said, dude, the opportunity to come on platforms like this where I get to talk and I get to share my story a little bit and stuff. Like, I'm super grateful for that. And I think you run a fucking good ship here with YouTube, Spaces, all this, and everything you have going on with like the Decod3rs website and views.
Thanks,
like,
man.
I got to look more into it so I have a better understanding. So I'm not talking to my ass, but I will say that the incentive and the core reasoning behind it, I can see, and it's fucking beautiful. So
thank you so much. Really appreciate you, man, for that. Because again, like, you're a content creator, you understand the whole industry and stuff. And yeah, you were saying that on stream, it's means a lot, man. And like, I can summarize in 1 second, like just with one question. When was the last time you get rewarded while watching a YouTube video?
Yeah, like never, right?
Exactly.
Like never. Usually you're paying for it. So the fact that you can get rewarded for watching, that's a whole different concept, and that's only available in Web3.
Exactly.
So there you go. I love it, dude.
And like, people who watch us on YouTube via the Watch to Earn platform that we built, they earn 1 views per minute. It's 1 hour and 4 minutes. They earn like 64 views for the show, and I'm going to airdrop that after the show.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that, dude. That's fucking great. Beautiful.
Maybe we can find some synergy with like Bell Studio for sure, man.
No, we got to do that, dude. We got to do that.
Let's go.
A bunch of content coming out too that I'd love to work with views on and everything, dude. Decod3rs stuff. We'll make it happen.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. Thank you so much, Jackie. That was amazing. Thank you so much for your time. It was like a nice stream. We need to do an episode 2. Like, I have so many questions.
Hell yeah. Anytime, dude. You let me know and I'll make time for it. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who watched like the stream, everyone on the Twitter space. Again, follow Jackie on socials, on Twitter. You also have like in the description, you have like the Bell Studio 3 and Mad Lads, like all the links in the description. Claim your views, because if you don't, you're gonna ask me to send it anywhere. So I don't want a customer support ticket. Claim your views, subscribe to the channel, like the video. It's important for the algorithm. So we want some people here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jackie. And yeah, we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.